Nice.
Lucky year of the dog.
I wanted to do something better than, you know, Happy New Year.
Me and my husband, we have the same zodiac, but we are completely different.
Visiting friends and family. That's almost compulsory.
Have many big family reunions.
I was shocked by how many people went to a temple fair.
Yes, I wear this for Chinese New Year.
You dance in front of you and you put a red envelope in their mouth.
We have to cook the dumplings, we play mahjong until 4 in the morning.
Happy Chinese New Year! Hello and welcome to this edition of Crossover. I'm Ji Xiaojun.
Hello everyone, I'm Louisa Lee.
We'll just look around here. This is indeed a very special setting. This is a food shop.
Yes, and we're feeling the festivity because we're counting down to the Chinese New Year.
Well, what is special about this shop is this is actually a century-old food shop, Beijing Daoxiangcun. They offer a huge variety of foods with a special focus on traditional food.
And like you said, they do have a huge array of selection, up to 600 different kinds of food, from savory to sweets, catering to both northerners and southerners.
对家人朋友什么的。
是家里很多人呢，买那么多。
主要的就是马上回家过年了嘛，川鸡什么的嘛，就当是礼品送。
买点年货回家，玫瑰花饼、蛋黄酥、油茶，我觉得都很好。
So we've already decided the few. Which one is your favorite?
Taro one. I want to try that one.
So the color looks good, right?
Yeah. How about you? Which one do you want to
I don't know. Anyone. They all look good. This is like a tradition because during the Chinese New Year we would prepare boxes like these.
To visit family and friends.
Exactly.
It's really interesting because you basically choose what you want and they wait for you and they pack it in for you.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, it is normal to see a huge variety in one single box.
Yeah.
For more about how we celebrate Chinese New Year, let's get back to the studio.
See you back there.
And here we are at the studio with the box that we brought back from Daoxiangcun.
Yeah, with all the dessert ready for our guest today.
Yeah, this is indeed a special edition to celebrate Chinese New Year. We have 4 special guests plus 2 more special guests.
Yes.
Welcome to Crossover.
Welcome to Crossover.
Well, this is your dog, right?
Yeah, that's Lucas.
Lucas.
And this is Taozi.
And this is Taozi.
Yeah.
We know this is the year of the dog, so you know, they are right here in the right position.
Yes.
Right place. Celebrating. Now, they don't know what they are doing here today.
Yeah, he keeps trying to eat this guy.
Well, let's hope you know what you're doing here, right?
Soy sauce.
We have Laura.
Hello, everyone.
Actually, everyone is our colleague.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're all CGTN hosts.
Laura, what is the program that you host?
I work with Rediscovering China as a reporter in the field.
Hello.
Hello. You want some food? I'm afraid I'm out of food right now.
And Tianan?
I host Travelog.
You travel a lot.
I travel a lot.
You discover a lot, Laura.
So all familiar faces, and we have
Paula.
Hello.
I'm from the Arabic channel, and
Right.
I'm hosting the news.
Okay.
Yeah. And Peter.
Peter, yes. I host Sports Scene on CGTN, so I'm a sports host, and now I'm also a dog carer at the moment.
You've been here in China for long. Laura, you've been here?
A bit over 4 years
4
now.
years. You were born here, Tianan.
I was born here, yes.
Yeah.
For me, almost 11.
11.
Almost 11.
11 years,
Yes.
right. And Peter?
I've been here 9 years.
9 years.
Okay.
And you?
1.5, so I guess I'm a newbie here.
But you were born in
Uh,
Taiwan?
Yes.
And then you grew up in California?
And also Montreal, also New York.
So pretty much in Chinese culture or in
Chinese
in
culture,
Western?
I guess half-half. I guess
Okay.
half-half, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know you're here, Taozi. So we're celebrating the year of Peter, the year of
I'm going to say dog.
the dragon. The dog.
Good answer.
Yeah, that is correct. So during the Chinese New Year, what we normally do when we see a friend, we would send our best wishes, right? We are going to send out a special gift, at least on TV, that we're going to write down all these blessings in the traditional Chinese calligraphy way, you know, with your brush. Anyone good at that? You've done this before?
We're going to put your writing skills to
nice.
test.
Me.
Yeah, especially when you're not good at it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Out and
Five people looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
Sweat beads.
Yeah. Well, nice. Want to show it?
I might have to
to the camera?
practice the sizes a bit.
Yes, show it to the camera. This is, what is this?
狗年吉祥. So we have the dog on the left, year here, and then 吉祥, lucky year of the dog.
Do you also have calligraphy in Tunisia?
No.
Oh wow.
So, this is
万事如意.
万事如意. It means
I hope all your
everything goes as you
everything
wish.
goes as you wish and everything will be good.
So I gotta do this.
Might actually be here for a while.
So that is 猪年过年更大更好更强. May the year of the dog be bigger, better, and stronger.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
So,
Sounds like the Olympics version of Chinese New Year.
well, I wanted to do something. I should have thought this out. I wanted to do something better than, you know, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And that's my own fault.
I could see that you learned it a little bit.
Yeah.
I have
the
a
way
fam-
you use the brush.
I have a family of calligraphers, but it hasn't really come down to me. I just hope none of my family's actually watching this. So this says 大吉大利, which means get lucky, get rich.
Yeah.
Because that's what 2018 is about.
That's right.
I just want to say something. I haven't.
Do you still want to hold onto your phone? No, it's
I
fine.
haven't done
I
this
just kept it in my
for
pocket.
over
Okay.
20 years.
It's just like people are
No,
sending
I'm not
messages.
really. I can't really write.
What are you going to write?
I don't know. 红包拿来. It means give me the red envelope.
Well, it better be good. He's holding it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Whoa.
Ooh, it's showing off now.
Oh my God. Oh, look at the shape of that coal. Wow. Look at the pressure that he's applying.
That's probably.
Yeah, all
That's
these characters are all different. Yeah, I wish you good fortune.
Sure.
For the new year. 恭喜发财. And with yours,
Oh yeah, it goes
put it on the top.
on top.
Yeah.
红包拿来
恭喜发
first.
财, 红包拿来.
Good
Fortune
fortune.
next year, but give me your envelope. Let's get back to our
Alright.
seats. Yeah. You guys are doing great. This is the year of the dog.
Dog,
We
yeah.
have the 12 zodiac animals.
Chinese zodiac. So we want to know what are your animals?
I am a rabbit, and from what I gather, like it's funny because like zodiacs, whether it's a Western zodiac or the Chinese zodiac, some I believe in, other parts I think it's a little bunk. You know what I mean? So rabbit is supposed to be lucky. Sometimes, sure, I can be lucky. It also claims I can be a little impulsive and not irrational, but just maybe overreact a little bit, which is true. The other one says, according to what I read, I can be a little angry, which I don't believe. So I mean, it just you take it with a grain of salt. I think some aspects, sure, definitely, but others, it's like
You just don't buy it.
no.
Did you know the tradition before you came to China, Peter?
Yeah, I did know of the 12 zodiac signs. Like I know what I am, I know what my sister is, and I know what my mom.
So this is pretty much like a universal culture now.
Well, I think most people know of the
Oh,
zodiac.
right.
Again,
Yeah.
obviously in the West we know.
Right.
And then like there was a Chinese population, big Chinese population in Vancouver growing up. So there was always, Chinese New Year that we saw on TV and that kind of stuff. So I was familiar with it. More familiar now, I guess. I still don't believe some of it. So.
Paola?
Rat. My zodiac is rat. Yeah.
So
Same as you.
what's the trait of a rat?
Ah, okay. Well, they
Like
say.
us,
Well, they say a lot, but I kind of really don't buy it because, for example, me and my husband, we have the same zodiac, but we are completely different. What I like about the legend is that it's kind of the animal that is hidden in your heart. This is what the Chinese old saying about your zodiac. And I remember, like, once when it was the year of the rat, they say that you have to put something special, like something red.
If it is the year of your animal.
Yes,
it's called like Minian.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so supposedly it's actually it's a bad luck year.
Yeah, it's a bad luck if it's your year.
Why is it like that? I don't know. Everyone is saying that, right?
It was my mother-in-law's Ben Mingmian this past year. So the whole year she's been incredibly careful and very worried that something really bad is going to happen. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same for my mum, actually.
Yeah.
We went shopping in the UK, and my wife found this really nice brooch, which was in the shape of the rooster. And then she wore it home, and then my mum was like, "Oh, is that for me?" She was like, "I guess You've got to be extra careful during your own
own year, yeah. So you have to have red bracelet. What else?
Yeah, but something red.
Something
Whatever,
red.
red socks,
Belt,
whatever.
socks, a lot of red.
But
it's very interesting. I mean, the culture behind all the zodiacs, whether it's Chinese or Western, it's very interesting.
So, Tian, what about your Chinese animal? Zodiac animal?
It's a tiger.
So you are like a tiger, or
I don't think so.
you're a peacock or a tiger, or
Well, tigers are meant to be brave and courageous and inspiring, and
Also aggressive.
It doesn't really sound like me.
Another rabbit, like Peter, and actually quite a few rabbits in my family. My mum is, and my father-in-law. My husband is a snake, and he did say to me in the beginning that that's apparently a good mixture because a snake around a rabbit will bring you money and success, apparently.
seriously, a snake eating rabbit.
But yeah, I also went online, best place, and
It's all correct answers, Peter.
yeah, it was perfect. No, it's very interesting. They said, oh yeah, the rabbit loves to socialize, and the snake
Which is true.
loves to say, yeah. I was actually a little bit like, oh, okay. You know, I love hanging out with other people, and he loves staying at home, and oh, that's actually kind of yes.
So this year is the year of the dog. I'm actually a dog.
So you're at 12?
24.
So you know the trick, right? You know when people ask you, because
You can actually count down to the
exactly.
Because it's 12 years apart, right?
Some people are fairly quick, and I'm going to say you're the year of dragon. Okay, you're at
This age, right?
almost instantly they know how old you are.
Yeah.
So with ladies, when people ask you what is your animal, think about it.
Changes every year.
Exactly. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion about Chinese New Year.
And for more information about crossover, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the studio.
I'm busy.
You're
I'm busy.
you're
You go ahead.
you're
You go
enjoying
ahead.
yourself.
You go ahead.
Well, in this segment, we want to talk about the Chinese New Year tradition and customs. But before we go into that, let's take a look at a video.
As the most observed holiday in China, the Chinese New Year, also known as Chunjie or the Spring Festival, falls on the first day of the Chinese lunar calendar, and it lasts for 15 days. The Han and the majority of other ethnic groups will participate in a rich variety of activities, including going to temples, worshiping ancestors, having feasts, and giving out red envelopes. According to legend, during the ancient time, there was a fierce monster named Nian. It lives deep in the ocean and comes to shore every year on the first day of the Lunar New Year. The monster is afraid of fire, the color of red, and the sound of explosion. To prevent it from doing harm, people put up red scrolls, dress in red, set out firecrackers, and stay up all night with lights on to frighten the monster away. The following day is when people come out to greet each other in happiness. The beliefs and customs have been carried out for thousands of years, hence becoming the tradition of Chinese New Year.
So that's the tradition of Chinese New Year, and also tells the story, you know, how
the monster near.
Exactly. How come we have a tradition of, firing all these firecrackers and, there is the love of the red color. All the traditions and customs that you remember about Chinese New Year since you've been here long enough to know that, I guess.
Well, first off, going to your hometown every year to have many big family reunions, and especially the older it gets, the more brothers and sisters there are. So, yeah, most of your time spent with the father's family and the mother's family, and eating lots and lots of food.
Visiting friends and families, that's almost compulsory during the Chinese New Year. And it shows you still care about them.
Yeah.
It's tiring, though.
It is.
It's not just the first day. It's like
is.
3 to 5 days.
Yes.
Non-stop drinking and eating. It sounds good, but it's actually really tiring.
But new developments, though, I mean, sometimes because people know this is tiring, everyone thinks about that. So what they do is they organize a big feast, try to get everyone of the extended family
together
at one location at one time. And then the problem solved, right?
Yeah.
The mum side of my family does that.
Yeah.
They just book like a restaurant, and we get dozens of people in, and then we all eat together, and just you eat so much that you actually end up like you regret it afterwards, and then afterwards
Don't regret it. There's no regrets. Once a year.
Yeah, when you get very scale, you regret.
True, but like afterwards, you're drunk, you've eaten so much, and then everybody starts getting out like digestives. Like we have digestive powders that we all kind of get out and start kind of just thrown into our mouths.
And you're eating more afterwards?
Yeah.
So, Peter, what about you?
For me, it always seems making jiaozi. Always making jiaozi. So the first year I came, I was surprised. So I went to a colleague's home. I worked at a radio station before I worked at CCTV. So we went there, and the grandmother was making jiaozi. So she was making the skins, she was making the filling, and we were helping her. And so we would go in like teams of 3. There was probably like 8 or 10 of us. So she was making the skin, making the filling, filling them, and she was doing the work of 3 people. She'd like bang, 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 quick, 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 and then me trying to put it together, and it would fall out and
Something
stuff.
similar to your calligraphy.
Why do you have to bring that up? So yeah, it was something like that. They tasted the same.
Oh, all right.
They may not have looked the same, but they
Who cares
tasted
about
the
the
same.
shape?
Exactly.
That's a great social event, basically.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone gets together to do something. It's a common mission, right? And we have to finish it all together.
And they eat it together after.
Yeah, sometimes even without Chinese. I mean, for my personal experience, we did celebrate, me and my husband, with some Chinese friends, but some years we do it just with foreigners, friends. We do gather for like the Chinese New Year's Eve. We watch the TV, and we make dinner, even like our own food, like local Tunisian food.
Wow.
But we do have dinner, like a family dinner. We go out by midnight to watch the fireworks. It's pretty like we share the same tradition.
You also celebrate, in other words.
We celebrate the Chinese New Year after 11 years, of course. Yeah.
Are you watching the gala and drinking baijiu as well?
No, we don't drink baijiu, but we do watch
not
the
fully,
gala.
Not the whole tradition.
And right?
We pick some traditions. We make dinner, but our own food. We watch the gala.
Do you also make jiaozi back in the States? Or
No,
in Vancouver?
my mom would make it, but I didn't really participate in the jiaozi
I mean,
session.
just the eating part, right?
Yeah, just the
I'm good at that one, too.
Or all the ones that you get from the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
But basically, jiaozi has become one of the cultural symbols of Chinese New Year. But I have to say, again, China is such a huge country. Traditions and customs are all different, even especially, actually, when it comes to food.
Isn't jiaozi more of a northerner kind of?
Yeah,
I don't think people in the
I
south
think they're all
really eat
northerners.
jiaozi.
Except for you.
I'm from the south.
Are you from the south?
So what do you eat at home?
What do you eat
do
for
on
New Year?
Let me see. But definitely not jiaozi, but a huge feast, basically. All kinds of meat you can think of.
Fish.
It'll be
Fish, a lot of
yeah.
seafood, right?
Fish, chicken, pork, beef, whatever you can think of. It's there. And
dessert, you have
Yuanxiao, right?
yuanxiao, tangyuan.
You guys do yuanxiao weird. It's not sweet. You guys put meat in your yuanxiao.
No,
we have 2 versions, huh?
Zongzi.
Zongzi.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same, right? Okay, when it comes to food,
Yeah.
I have so much to talk about. Do you know the meaning of jiaozi?
I think I remember a story about why you make them is because they look like coins, and then that brings kind of, again, to make you rich.
No, it looks like, you know, not coins, but
Tails.
it's kind of a...
Like the ingots, right? Like those
Yeah,
ingots.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So to get rich again.
But 饺子 is also 饺子. 饺子 is like the crossing of 2 years, of 2 nights. That's why it's called 饺子. What is your experience?
My husband loves to go to Miaohui. It's the temple fair.
Temple fair.
Yes, and he keeps looking every year where he can find like a new or interesting temple fair. He wants to see the lion dance and the.
He doesn't want to repeat.
Yes, every year he goes to a different one, and I go, of course, with him. We take friends, their kids to play, and.
What does he like most about the temple fair?
He wants to see the dragon and the lion dance.
Oh, I love the dragon and lion dance.
Yes.
That's what I used to look forward to when I was a kid. I grew up in a lot of places, but when I was a kid and we lived in New York, my mom would take us to Chinatown, and that's where you really celebrate the Chinese New Year. And it's quite expensive. The event is exuberant. Like you have the dragon dance, you have the fireworks, you have everything, you have the food. It's quite an experience, especially for people who are away from home. At that time of year, and you have people from different parts of China, so you really feel like during that holiday, everyone's together.
That's the Chinese community.
Did you used to give them the hongbao?
Actually,
when
the dragon
line
dance will give you. Oh yeah, you're supposed to give hongbao. They dance in front of you and they put a red envelope in their mouth.
Yeah, but you know the sad thing about this, that you can see it somewhere else outside of China, but you cannot find it in Beijing. We keep every year moving from a temple fair to another,
trying to look for the dragon dance.
To look for the dragon dance.
Yeah, but it's a southern thing. Like growing up in Vancouver, we would have the same thing. They'd have the dragon dance and stuff, but that's more of like a southern Cantonese type thing. I didn't know that.
Especially with lion dance.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that until
they have dragon
years
dance
later.
in the north, though. Lion dance is north.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We also have that back in my hometown, and I still remember my grandmother inviting the lantern dragon to come over to have some special ceremony, well, just to hang out for a while, right at the front door, and then my grandmother would pay the team some red envelope and then maybe some best wishes, and wish the best for the family, for us.
So how about you, Tian? So what do you do? You're from Beijing, so what do you do during Chinese New Year?
Yeah, I mean, I never used to celebrate Chinese New Year before coming back to China.
Okay.
Like when I was in the UK, because it was just me and my parents, so we didn't have a big family. We'd eat some jiaozi, some dumplings for Spring Festival, but that was about it. But after coming back, during my first year, I'd get phone calls pretty much every single day. I have a really big family in Beijing, and they'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? What are you up to?" And these would be like 60-year-old aunties. And then they'd keep inviting me to their houses. And like we have a really big extended family. 6 aunts on my mum's side. No, 3 on my mum's side and 6 on my dad's side. So it would be like 9 people taking turns to kind of host me. And that's why I was saying like earlier, it gets really tiring because it's good to chat and eat and whatnot, but if you do it 9 days in a row,
it's a wonder to see you keep.
Well, this was several years ago. After a while, you kind of like, I'm busy.
Yeah,
you kind of got to filter them down. You got to make a short list.
VIPs only.
Pick one against the other. Say no, I'm going to. And
no, never do that.
That is absolutely the hardest thing to do, because you will get invitations for the same day, and then you'll be like, oh, who do I want more hongbaos from?
Do you have to do that now, giving hongbaos?
I used to receive them, but then I would be like, no, I'm working now, so there's no point for you to give me money. I should be the one giving your grandchildren hongbaos.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of why I like avoiding those things now, because I have to give money out. And
so it's because you're stingy.
It's because I'm stingy, yes. Winter's always hard for me.
Yeah, but these days you don't need to be there physically. You can still do so, with WeChat.
I'll be traveling.
Technology.
Off the grid. No data.
So, Peter, you've been to any Chinese gatherings like that where you have...
The first year I came here, I went to a temple fair. I was shocked by how many people went to a temple fair. And, like, literally, it took us probably a half hour, 45 minutes to get in. Like, the lineup was ridiculous. But I mean, it was neat to see, you know, the lighting of the incense and throwing the coins and stuff. But
what
it just,
was that exactly? What?
Yeah. So like you go and people are like praying to a certain old gods and stuff, and there's the lighting of the incense, and you throw the coin into the fountain for good luck and stuff. But it just took forever to do all this stuff. So I went with a colleague of mine from the radio station, and she was telling me the history behind it.
They sell food. You can get some of those like traditional handicrafts and everything.
How about you, Laura?
I am a big fan of fireworks.
Oh, really?
So being in Hohhot is pretty nice because they tend to go
Your
all
husband
out.
is from?
He's from Hohhot in Inner Mongolia.
Yeah.
So they tend to go all out. And actually, for me, the first Chinese New Year was 4 years ago. And I've had to wait 3 years in order to, this past Chinese New Year, finally be able to take part in blowing everything up. Because up there, I don't think this is across all of China, but where they come from, there's this superstition where if an elderly person dies and his granddad had sadly passed away, you're not allowed to take part in the Chinese New Year fireworks for 3 years. So we got here right after he had sadly passed, and so last year was the first time I finally got to blow stuff up.
You had to wait. What the customs do they have? Because it's quite different, isn't
How different? Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, because my husband is from a Han family, so I guess it's not that different. But there will be a lot of baijiu that will be drunk. And
a lot of drinking.
I remember one year we had one family member who is Mongolian, and he burst into song, so we were listening to like songs from the grasslands. Yeah, well, it was a little bit of throat singing and mostly just classics. And but yeah, lots of drinking. Lots of baijiu.
Can you actually take advantage of being a foreigner? Say no. I'm like.
Yes, I can. Like, luckily, A, being a foreigner, B, being a woman, they don't force it on me at all.
Yeah.
But actually, I've started, they prepared red wine for me last year, so that was nice. And yeah, I just do my own thing. Like, actually, my family remarked on the fact that they poured me some red wine, and I was just kind of sipping away. And I wouldn't, every round that I drink, go, okay, ganbei, ganbei, we all have to drink now. I'd just be sitting there sipping away, and then at some point someone's like, yeah, she's just enjoying her wine, you know. She doesn't need to have others drinking with her. And I was wondering, is this a good thing, or do they think I'm an alcoholic?
Yeah. Well, what about you? I mean, what do you remember about?
Well, I just remember when I was growing up, my mom would take me to all these parades. At home, my mom would cook, we would fry niangao. Yeah, it would be fried. And then we had a lot
What
of...
is niangao in English?
What is it? What is niangao? It's
Kind of a rice cake?
Rice.
Yeah.
Rice. Yeah, sticky rice cake.
Yeah.
And also we would have tangyuan.
Okay.
So my mom would
Again,
make that.
sort of dumplings, but with fillings in it. Could be
On
sweet.
the day of Spring Festival or 15
I don't
days
think
after?
I don't think it was that traditional, like we're, you know, but I just remember getting hongbao from my mom and all relatives.
Yeah.
Something I always look forward to.
Lucas is.
I know he's like really
tired.
He's having a little nap here, yeah.
He's having his dream.
Yeah.
Certainly, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the studio.
And we know, Hola, you have something
that you want to show us,
prepared for us.
Yes, it's the Chinese dress.
Chinese dress?
What
Yeah.
is Chinese dress today?
Chinese qipao?
Is it
Or
qipao?
Well, I have one qipao, and the other one is what you call tangzhuang.
Okay.
With a skirt.
do you have them with us now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. This is
Wow.
great.
That's very nice.
That's a qipao. That's like a Chinese
That's
style.
it's called tangyuan, right?
Yeah,
Jacket.
tangzhuang.
There's a jacket and a
So this
skirt.
is the traditional qipao.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I prepare this usually for Chinese New Year.
You
Yes.
wear this?
Yes, I wear this for Chinese New Year, and also if I go home for any celebration, because it's special, no one would be wearing the same. So yeah, you take something very special and original, and every celebration I prepare something Chinese.
When,
that's
when did
great.
you have them made?
Here in Beijing.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, that is one of my talking about clothes, one of my favorite things about Chinese New Year is the fact that you have to go and buy new clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good reason to go shopping.
New clothes for the Chinese New Year.
Yeah. I thought it was supposed to be everything new.
New haircut.
New haircut,
Yeah.
new clothes, like
Hey,
new socks, everything.
hey, that's a tricky one, haircut.
Yeah.
Especially in Beijing. You know that?
Yeah,
Good set.
we always have to get a haircut before the Chinese New Year
Yeah.
because for the month after, you're not allowed to get your haircut or your uncle will die, and we wouldn't want that, so.
Let's say
Really?
you're going to bring bad luck to your uncle.
Okay.
I remember hearing that growing up, that you know, you're supposed to get your hair cut before the Chinese New Year. And when I first came here, I started doing that. And if I can, I try and get my hair cut. But it seems now it's a lot harder. You know what I mean? Like, well, no, just because the people, like the salons around my place, they're always packed.
Again, about the traditions, what is the most exciting part of Chinese traditions and customs celebrating the New Year?
I think it's just being with family. I mean, because I'm away from home. So it's always nice to get together with family, or my family away from Canada. So like all my friends here, that's the thing I look forward to all the time. It's just, it's a simple thing, and it's a home away from home. Obviously, I'll call my family and just, you know, wish them a happy Chinese New Year, and they're like, oh, and happy Chinese New Year to you, right? Because, I mean, like, they've come to visit me, so they understand, you know, a little bit about China. So that's the thing I look forward to.
Yeah, the getting together spirit of the Chinese
Yeah.
New Year. Yeah.
The atmosphere also, you feel like everyone is rushing, everyone is very busy buying new stuff, buying gifts. All the malls are like packed with people. There is a special atmosphere about Chinese New Year, and like this gathering, how Chinese they cherish to be with family for Chinese New Year. It's very special, and the fireworks also.
You're from a different culture. I mean, when you first came here, well, when you saw people, Chinese people celebrate Chinese New Year, what are the things that kind of shocked you, and cultural shocks, any of them?
I wouldn't call it shock per se, but up in Inner Mongolia, obviously there's a lot about food in terms of there's a lot of lamb and a lot of beef. So you can be sure that on the Chinese New Year's table there is going to be a big chunk of lamb, like shobaro. So they boil the lamb. And so one Chinese New Year when we were there, the uncle started cutting it up and then feeding us. So as a way to show respect, right? So I would sit there and then I had to open my mouth and he would go across the table and feed me the piece of lamb. So that's, to begin with, I think, we talked a little bit about germaphobes. I mean, I was like, okay, this is fun, but if you're a person who is concerned with these things, that might be a bit...
I mean, we experienced that one in Mongolia, right? I mean, to welcome you, they serve like the whole goat, and then they slice off, you know, a piece of meat.
Lamb fat.
And then you have to eat it from his hand.
Yeah.
Wow. And you have to drink from a cup, but then the cup is shared among everyone.
Yeah.
Then going on, the next thing was afterwards, almost kind of at the end of the meal, all of a sudden they started handing out the bones to everyone. Everyone got one bone, and I was like, what's happening now? And then they hand out a straw, and everyone's sitting there with a bone and a straw, and I'm like, what? And they suck out the bone marrow. Because, I mean, we have like dumplings in Germany made with bone marrow inside, but they're still a dumpling, but just sucking pure bone marrow out of a bone, for me, that was where I drew the line a little bit.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So what is shocking to you, culturally speaking?
Oh, I would say the same. Not really shocking, because I come from an Arabic country, and as I grow up in a Muslim environment, so it's all about sharing, and it's all about like this kind of celebration. We do have our like own New Year. It's called Hijri. They start counting from the Prophet Muhammad when he left Mecca to Al-Madinah. So we have the celebration of this like the New Year, and it's also lunar calendar, and we have a lot of celebration. But the most like important celebration is the one that comes after the month of Ramadan. They call it the small Eid, or small celebration, and it's also about food, about sharing, about eating all the time and feeding people, because in like Arabic tradition, loving means giving food. People, how to show your love is to feed someone. If people are feeding you or offering you a lot of food, then that's love.
Kind of a similar
yeah,
in
it's
China,
similar.
yeah.
It's very similar to Chinese culture and all this cherishing family, gathering together, visiting family for the celebration. We do share the same. Even like this story of Hongbao, we have, but you don't put it in red envelope. When we have the celebration after Ramadan, the small celebration, you have to give money to all the kids, everyone in the family. Yeah.
You just give them hard cash, or?
Yeah, cash.
So no, but you don't put it in an envelope or anything like that, or in a card?
No, you don't put.
Okay.
You just put in the pocket of the kids.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. So we do share a lot of things with Chinese, and a lot of sweets, specially made for the celebration, a family dinner or a family lunch all together, and you need to visit everyone. And yeah, and the youngest have to visit the older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
In the right order, right?
Yeah, in the right order. Yeah. So it's pretty the same. And the first day is for the father's side, and the second day or in the afternoon is for the mother's side. So
Almost exactly the same.
yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same. So this is why I told you there is a special atmosphere about Chinese New Year that reminds me about home. And yeah, I every year I really love Chinese New Year celebration, because you feel like something you are familiar with. We have a lot of similarities with Chinese, and how you care for your parents, how you still, like, even after you get married, you still have to care for your parents.
Same thing.
Yes, same. They even have to live in your house.
Oh no, that's terrible. Oh, God.
So Peter,
The thing that shocked me was the amount of fireworks. Like, it was unbelievable. They've changed things now. Like, there's rules. You can only have fireworks on the New Year's Eve.
15 days.
No, yeah, no, but the New Year's Eve, the 5th day, there's another, so, and then like the final day.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, but when I first got here, it was all the time. People
Yeah.
were doing it constantly, and I'm not even joking when I say this. I had friends, journalist friends of mine, that were in war zones that said the war zones were more quiet. Because, like, I'm not even joking. So, like, you know, the first day, I get it. It's New Year's Eve. Have at her. Do whatever you want. It's a blast. Great. And that went to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you'd get home, whatever. And then at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's on again. And it's throughout the day. Obviously, the first day it's louder and more constant. But then, like, literally, like 7:30, 8 o'clock, bang, 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 bang. Like, it goes for 10 or 15 minutes. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to try and sleep a little more. And then bang, 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 bang. Like a half hour later. Like, I was like, what is going on? And my first apartment, I was living on the 26th floor. So I was on the top floor of my apartment within this little gated complex, and I've got fireworks shooting. Yeah, I was like, what is going on here?
It's free treatment.
Yeah, but okay, again, the first day was great, but every day for 15 days, I was like, oh man, like, what have I gotten into?
Too many people like Laura, you know, waiting for 5
Yeah.
years.
For fireworks.
Fly the fireworks.
9 or 10 years ago, it was different from now. Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, you couldn't
wake
get
up
away
at 7 a.m.
No,
like
you
scared.
didn't. They woke you up at 7.
But you wake up scared, and you are like, oh my God, what happened? Is it like a war or something?
So back to you, Tiaran.
I know my aunties do that too, and they're like, you know, 60, 70, 80 years old, and I remember, you know, we'd eat and we'd have the gala on in the background, and then, you know, we'd drink, and they don't normally drink, but on that day they are seriously heavy drinkers. And it would be, it's not like you just sitting there with your wine. I'd have to toast them.
And finish it.
Yeah, I'll be gambling,
Bottoms
like 53% alcohol or something. And then afterwards, you know, we go out to set off the fireworks, and I'm like, okay, time to go to sleep. And they're like, no! We've got to stay up and play mahjong. It's like, you're 70 years old. Just go to sleep now. It's like, no. We have to cook the dumplings. We play mahjong until 4 in the morning. Like, okay.
So it's like you have to pull an all-nighter, basically.
Yeah, so I don't really do Spring Festival with them anymore. Just can't take it.
So that's something, and you're away for too long. So.
Yeah, it was very shocking.
For me, basically, sometimes it's getting disappointing because Chinese New Year is not like the Chinese New Year we remembered from our childhood. It's just different. Maybe we grow up, or maybe it's developed, or it's getting too modern, or or people are getting away from traditions. So I don't know why, but it's only, it doesn't feel like
maybe it's the child, like you're not a child anymore anyway, so
maybe.
like the wonderment of a child, and that's... It's the same thing like Christmas. Like, like obviously when I was a kid, I loved Christmas. I still enjoy Christmas, but when you're a kid, there was something magical about it.
That's right.
But for Chinese New Year, it's really getting smaller. You can feel that, like
especially in the big city. You don't really feel it anymore.
You
right?
don't. You don't have the same feeling. I arrived here like 11 years ago. It's not the same Chinese New Year anymore. Things are getting smaller, and I feel like Chinese are maybe running away from this tradition. I know it might be tiring. Like we do also have very tiring traditions, but still like nice to have. It's once a year.
Karen?
Yeah. Yes, it's just once a year.
Just once a year.
But people are saying we're now celebrating Chinese New Year, but in a new way. And the new ways of celebration you've heard about?
Well, things do evolve, so there's no harm in it as long as you keep the basic traditions, but maybe you add elements to it. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a different food you do or whatever. I mean, but keep the basics, but expand on it. There's no harm in that.
Still get together, big feast, but not at home. You're not cooking yourself. You're going to a restaurant.
Maybe that's the change, or whatever it may be. Like.
I do think there's more traveling now, though. Like a lot more people are starting to travel, and so then that breaks it up, right?
Yeah,
because
many people now they prefer to go abroad rather than spending.
I mean, we did 1 year. We went to Shenzhen and Hong Kong. Me and my mother-in-law and my husband, and you know, my mother-in-law loves traveling, so it wasn't. I was like, hey, how about we do this? And she was totally on board. Whereas my husband was like. He hated it. He's like, no, Chinese New Year, I have to be in Ho Hut with all the family. I can't be sitting in Hong Kong.
No, he wants to drink.
So actually, he stays out of the drinking. No, but yeah, I definitely learned my lesson there. But yeah, more and more friends I hear about that are traveling and going abroad, and partially to escape pressure from family. So of course,
married already.
so of course it's that time of the year when young unmarried people, especially the girls, go home and their parents are like, why aren't you married yet? So
when are you going to have a baby?
When are you going to have a baby? Yeah, that's the one now.
Next question.
That's fairly Chinese.
Very Chinese.
People are traveling. At the same time, people are still sending greetings, but maybe in a digital way. People are giving hong baos, but again in the digital way. So
I think people also got wealthier now, and people travel more often. So it's not just. Maybe it's for some people it is, but for many maybe it's not just this one time in a year that you get to go home and see your parents, and you know you can always like virtually call them as well. But I think as long as you spend time with your family, it doesn't have to be this particular day. Ideally it is, but you know as long as you keep the spirit going, then it's still there.
That's the essence. For any festival.
Just drinking would be nice.
So in the end of our discussion, let's send our best wishes
to
using
our audience.
the old Chinese calligraphy work. I'm sending out my best wishes. Happy Chinese New Year! 新年快乐！恭喜发财！
红包拿来！
也狗年大吉！
万事如意！
万事如意！拜。